fixin' for another big game. It's the coach. This is NFL football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see running back Joe Mixon coming off a 100-yard performance a week ago, as it'll be the New York Giants taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gott and Charles Davis.
On a chilly December afternoon, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gott. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in riding high, just one loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, they've been as hot as anyone. The win last week makes it 9 out of 10.
The results are hard to argue. If there's a team better suited for the postseason right now, I don't know who they are.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down. Bengals now to take over. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job.
And right away, he lost the football. But I think a Bengal player was able to get in there. He was. And they'll keep possession of the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
And he's up past the 10 to about the 12. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole, 3rd and long. And a look now at the Cincinnati offense.
And the play of this offensive line is going to be so important in this game because we saw the sack a minute or so ago. They've got to be able to give their guy time to throw. That means communication and being physical is vital. Otherwise, this could be a long game.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Dexter Lawrence make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They'll be taken out by the product of the University of Louisville, the talented Teddy Bridgewater.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now Saquon Barkley. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And the Buffet boys, the O-line. Hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them after.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. This is Barkley. And some room to maneuver. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. He'll get 15 and a Giants first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
A look there at the defensive starters for Cincinnati. They were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
One thing you always look for when you're evaluating a defense, how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get? How about last week's game? The number was 6. Phenomenal performance.
I can't believe they even let you play.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he is going to be close to a first down as the tackle made at the Bengals' 22. They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley with touchdown number 12 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you want one. You'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams, they're not as worried about being number 1. 2 is fine because they feel like they can go on the road and win against number 1 if they absolutely have to. The big thing, though, is clinching one of those early byes and able to sit and to get a little rest as the playoffs begin.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
Here's 2nd and 8. And his throw's going to be incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
And he's got the first, but we also have a flag on the field. And they're already walking backwards. So a decent game, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And it's fielded at the 34. Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road, so getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Bridgewater. It's hauled in by Shepard. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 13 yards, good for a Giant first down. Bridgewater on first down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Snags it for the pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Meanwhile, here a run on first down really backfires as he's going to be brought down well behind the line of scrimmage.
Let's go. 10 Lobo.
Watching you fire. Here we go, here we go.
On 2nd down, Dobbins. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. And 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. A good kick, 49 yards, just 3 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. And he's made it easy for us to put together a highlight package. Just wondering what he ate before this one started.
Let's include that in the package, right? Get the gourmet out here, figure it all out, and you're guaranteed he'll do that going forward as well, because with a game like this, you don't want to change things too much. Oh, yeah, you also want to continue to get that great blocking he's received today, too.
Yeah, kudos to the guys up front indeed. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll run with Barkley. And And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Third and long for Bridgewater. Open target here, Darius Slayton. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. And the Giants send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
Well, throwing to start the drive, but that went incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. 2nd and 10. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. Give him 17 at a Cincinnati first down.
Ready? 50, clear.
A draw play for Mixon. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and slow them down.
And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 33. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And the Giant rush gets home as down he goes. Dante Fowler racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Looking to throw. Forced out to his left. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still 3rd down.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long.
Look at me, zipper.
Now back to throw. Looking deep downfield. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. Earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do to them, and that may open some things up for you offensively. That's a double win there, partner. You keep out of the return man's hands, and you pin them inside the 5-yard line. Pretty darn good.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. On on second down. Here's Barkley. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
Now it's Barkley. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Well, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. Third and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Well, you just said it, Charles. They had to be very hesitant thinking about throwing the football. That's why, safety.
Foul that one under. Worst fears realized.
This is taken at the 10.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Mixon with a first down carry. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give them 17 and a Cincinnati first down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
They'll look to throw here. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Mixon will try the right side. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And he's all the way down to the 6-yard line. A big hitter there. A first down gain of 26 yards.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage just come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And that'll get him halfway there as he takes it from the 6 to the 3-yard line. They'll go again from the 3 here on second and goal. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Here's Mixon. And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, his 11th touchdown on the year. And the Bengals have taken the lead.
But they decided to run it in and got it done on third and goal. A lot of times, that's a passing play.
And the kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. This is taken about 7 yards deep. Saquon Barkley and the Giants offense set to kick off their next drive. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat, make sure he touches it a few times, but as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up?
Everybody scoot up, heavy.
On 3rd and 1, here's Bridgewater. And that is incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short. Complete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
And it's taken in at the 9. Going out of bounds. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Bengals drive about to get going, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. On first down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Now! Mark 55! Ready?
They'll set up to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
So the pass incomplete in the end zone, but contact and pass interference.
And now where does the ball get placed?
Now at the 1-yard line.
1-yard line. They gave up excellent real estate on that one.
And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't,